Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Patreon-sponsored review time again, and the second of our What If double feature. We saw what happens if things went wrong in Star Wars A New Hope, but what happens if things go right in Transformers the movie? For those of you just joining us who otherwise don't care about the robots in disguise, Transformers the movie is famous and infamous for a lot of its creative decisions, killing off or sidelining a lot of the mainstays and popular characters from the first two seasons of the show, which includes the leader of the heroic Autobots, Optimus Prime. This was, of course, to clear the deck for a bunch of new toys, since at the end of the day, Transformers is a show about selling hunks of plastic. However, this had the side effect of making many children sad and traumatized because, of course, this is a story with characters they enjoy. And don't think that hurting robots can't affect you well into adulthood. I've been 3D printing this Johnny 5 toy, and I keep having flashbacks to what happened to him in Short Circuit 2. Why didn't Los Locos come and help him, damn it? Why won't someone help him? Someone answer me! Must keep building robots. Must help Johnny 5. What I mean to say is that, yeah, we joke about it nowadays, but killing off Optimus Prime was a big friggin' deal. And it didn't help matters that Season 3 was very uneven with these new characters and the new lead, Hot Rod, aka Rodimus Prime. Aside from him getting the blame for Optimus's death by a lot of fans, he was constantly making mistakes, saying dumb things, and attempting to abdicate responsibility frequently. The idea was to create an arc for him where he would grow into a more competent leader, but it just wasn't working. And after the disastrous episode with a near zombified Optimus Prime dying again, the higher-ups brought Optimus back, and it was a pretty damn good two-parter, all things considered. But of course, that still leaves the original movie where Prime died. But let's turn the clock back to 2016 and IDW's event, Deviations. IDW's events are not events like DC and Marvel have them, one of the other reasons why we don't really have them as part of Event Comics Month. In this case, the events, with some exceptions, tend to be stories told across various franchises, but not really crossing over with each other. The Infestation event, for instance, saw a zombie plague hit Star Trek, Transformers, Ghostbusters, but none of them actually interacted with each other, just with the event that was occurring in all of them. And thus was the case with Deviations. Instead of them crossing over, each series that participated had a little round of what if. For the Ghostbusters, it was what if they hadn't crossed the streams. For My Little Pony, it was what if Princess Celestia picked someone other than Twilight Sparkle to be her apprentice. For the X-Files, it was what if Fox Mulder had been abducted as a child instead of his sister. And of course, for today, it was what if Optimus Prime didn't die fighting Megatron? Let's dig into Transformers Deviations and see how that went. The cover's not that great. Just a very bulky Optimus Prime standing over Megatron's dead body, well, just his arm, with some debris and smoke around them. You wouldn't think this was connected to the movie at all. There is an alternate cover that's better, though. It's an homage to older style comic covers with dialogue on them, in this case depicting the scene in the movie where Hot Rod says he has to help Prime in the fight with Megatron. It's still not great for indicating that this is an alternate universe version of events. At least the cover with Optimus showed a dead Megatron, but nothing to indicate the connection to the movie, but at least it's a better indication of something going on inside of the book. One shall stand, one shall fall. Optimus Prime and Megatron duel to the death, and only one will survive. I mean, technically Megatron didn't either because he was reformatted into Galvatron, but potato, I guess. We open with a recap of the movie, though the panels used are apparently from when IDW did an adaptation of the movie into comic form for its 20th anniversary. What really happened? In the future of 2005, Megatron's Decepticons launch an all-out attack on Autobot City on Earth. Oh yeah, I remember that. Ended up delaying the release of Revenge of the Sith by a few days. Hot Rod's dissatisfaction creates the opportunity for Megatron, who kills Optimus Prime.
This has made a lot of people very angry and been widely regarded as a bad move.
But Megatron himself is left for dead in space, where he meets the planet eater called Unicron. It turned out to be a very fun meet-cute. As Unicron moves on Cybertron, Hot Rod uses the Autobot matrix of leadership. And nothing, I guess. I suppose if you weren't familiar with the story, then you're just supposed to infer something good happened. Then again, why would you be picking this up if you weren't already familiar with this story? Today, we will explore a world where things happen differently. In a world where Optimus Prime never died. We truly open in the middle of Optimus running down Decepticons as in the movie. There is a theory of quantum realities, a concept of infinite possibilities, where anything that can happen does happen somewhere in the multiverse. Like, what if yarn was pudding? A single decision can change the fate of the universe. A simple turn to the left can avert catastrophe, while a right turn can trigger an apocalypse. Hey, I know what you're alluding to, but Doctor Who's 60th anniversary is next year. We'll save the references for that. In this world, in this moment, a tragedy of galactic proportions is about to unfurl. Instead of The Touch playing, it's the Divinals' I Touch Myself. One shall stand, one shall fall. I mean, they actually both ended up falling, just saying. Why throw away your life so recklessly? That's a question you should ask yourself, Megatron. The more badass way of saying, I know you are, but what am I? After an intense fight, though in this version I guess we're forgetting about the damage to Optimus' side, Megatron is at Prime's mercy. The villain spots a gun in the rubble and tries to stall for time so he can reach it, but in the original timeline, Hot Rod spotted this and tried to grab Megatron. However, Megatron instead used Hot Rod as a shield and made the injuries fatal. In this version, Cup grabs Hot Rod. Megatron gets the gun and shoots, but misses, allowing Optimus to blast Megatron's head off. And with that, this quantum reality spirals in a new, unforeseen direction. Yeah, especially since Megatron can't see anything anymore. Till all are one. Or until all the Decepticons get their heads shot off. Either way, really. This is a weird way of incorporating headmasters into this book. Anyway, with Megatron out of the picture, Optimus rallies the Autobots and sends the rest of the Decepticons running. Starscream takes a moment to stop by Megatron's corpse and grab his arm cannon. Astro Train! Prepare to launch once all are aboard! Where's Megatron? Megatron has fallen! And, well, you know how this song goes. I suppose this is all the proof I need. In the meantime, I nominate myself as the new leader of the Decepticons! Unless, of course, anyone chooses to challenge me for the crown! And apparently no such challenge happens as Astro Train takes off. I'm not sure why it'd make a difference. Starscream admitted Optimus killed him, and he nominated himself as leader in the movie, too. It just happened a little later. Is everyone just really tired and doesn't feel like doing it, whereas they were a bit more rested in the movie? And I sincerely doubt that's the case because, of course, my man Soundwave doesn't get tired.
Soundwave superior.
They still have to jettison some of the dying Decepticons because of weight. As others have pointed out before, that's questionable science when they're already in space, but the deed is done and they're injured or left behind. In this reality, without Megatron to bargain for their lives, the warriors meet an untimely fate within Unicron's fiery belly. Well, I guess Unicron really had no faith in Thundercracker, Skywarper, Bombshell to have them act as his minions because he didn't even try to talk to them, especially since Megatron didn't originally bargain for their lives in the movie. Megatron bargained for himself, and it wasn't much of a bargain. Unicron showed up, said, "You're working for me now, I'll upgrade you guys, go destroy the Matrix, and if you don't, you die." Hell, Megatron didn't even say hi first. Unicron initiated contact, not the other way around. Back on Earth, the Autobots have gathered their own dead. We've earned a brief respite from the turmoil, yet this victory means little in the scope of the unfathomable loss before us. The price for peace has become too high. The time has come to end the Cybertronian wars once and for all. As such, we surrender. Hot Rod speaks up. "I know we've suffered heavy casualties, but you've stopped Megatron permanently. The Decepticons should be demoralized, and an internal power struggle will erupt within their ranks. With their bloodthirsty nature, they'll have a new leader within an astrocycle. Have you learned nothing about our enemies, or do you spend all your free time interfering in battles above your pay grade?" And it's right here where we might as well just point out the big problem with this comic. It hates the Season 3 cast, but it especially hates Hot Rod. It takes every opportunity to crap on him, show him as wrong and stupid, and the other characters consequently call him wrong and stupid. And I have no particular love for Hot Rod or Rodimus Prime, but even reasonable comments and questions he puts forth are met with hostility like that. Hot Rod and Ultra Magnus continue to argue, but Optimus finally steps in. "Take a good look at your fallen brothers. They made the ultimate sacrifice so that we could one day reclaim Cybertron. Chirping at each other like malfunctioning scrap droids is no way to honor their memory. Let's get them repainted and redecoed under new names for re-release, as Primus dictates." They found an eternal resting place within the matrix of leadership. Their heroism will echo through space and time, till all are one. And Cup hits him over that remark. "It's not wise to speak of the Matrix in blasphemous tones." The hell was so blasphemous about what he said? Or did he say it really sarcastically? And it's like, ooh, their heroism will echo through space and time. Look at the cool matrix of leadership. They prep the shuttles to return to Cybertron's moons, where the Autobot bases are. Optimus figures that they need to move quickly to stop the Decepticons before they've stabilized their new leadership, which I'm guessing was what Hot Rod was suggesting before Magnus decided to be a dick. Optimus orders Hot Rod to go with Ultra Magnus's crew to Moonbase 2, while he heads to Moonbase 1 with his own crew. Both ask why they're going together. "Cup will have his hands full managing the Dinobots, and I need time to devise a battle plan without further distraction. Your behavior has shown me that you need constant supervision. Ultra Magnus is the finest Autobot mentor under my command. More important, I need you to take care of Daniel until we can reunite him with his father. The boy has seen a level of carnage well beyond his understanding." So, Daniel has nobody on Earth who can look after him? Or hell, why not leave both Daniel and Hot Rod to help repairs in Autobot City? In fact, Ultra Magnus suggests Hot Rod stay behind and do just that. "Are you sure about this, Optimus? He's a liability best left behind to assist in the cleanup effort." "Old friend, I'm certain a robot named Orion Pax was described in similar terms. Have faith. Hot Rod may surprise us all." Oh boy, given what happens later in the comic, I feel like Magnus would have preferred less faith. Also, still should leave Danny behind. We cut over to Cybertron and Starscream's coronation. Like the movie, it's interrupted, but this time it's less bad comedy from Galvatron and more pants to be darkened as Unicron has already arrived. "As our new leader, you are the official representative for Cybertron on all matters extraterrestrial. But the rules are explicit." I am 99% certain Soundwave made that up to just force him to do it. Megatron would have just done it because he's the hands-on type for these sort of situations. "Uncharismatic bore transforms into a cassette player. What's his value anyway?"
All talk, no shock.
So yeah, Starscream flies off to meet Unicron, who tells him to serve or die. "You are to destroy the Autobot matrix of leadership. It is the one thing, the only thing. that can stand in my way. It's a good thing I'm telling you this, Starscream. You seem to be someone loyal and trustworthy enough to have this information. Starscream makes a request. Unicron! Your power appears limitless! To defeat Optimus Prime and his forces, I need to be reformatted into a stronger Decepticon! Making a lot of assumptions there, Starscream. All you know about him so far is that he's really big and voiced by Orson Welles. Or could Orson Welles always do that, and that's where the assumption comes from? Still, Unicron does indeed reformat Starscream. He tries to get more Decepticons empowered, but Unicron says not to push his luck. Back on the shuttles, Hot Rod and Daniel are talking. The former sad because he just wanted to help Prime, but it feeling like every decision he makes is the wrong one. Daniel tries to comfort him. Thanks, Daniel. That means a lot to me. May I ask you a question? Do you ever feel, not so fresh? Humans often have images flood into their heads at random times, correct? Yeah, but Dad tells me to ignore the ones that say I should put magnets on you guys. I keep having daydreams of Optimus dying. Whenever I get close to him, the images get stronger, like the Matrix is trying to tell me something. Like it's trying to contrive the actual movie into this what-if tale for no good reason, when the entire idea is to explore how things would go if it hadn't happened. Ultra Magnus comes over and decides to be a dick. Maybe the Matrix is trying to point out traitors in our midst. Ultra Masshole. Traitor? How dare you accuse me? Sitting around fantasizing about the death of our leader is mutinous. Time for me to police thought crimes. I'm glad the Autobots are the good guys. Before this dumb conversation can continue, the shuttle comes under attack by the upgraded Starscream. I, Mega Scream, will shred every Autobot until your stain is wiped clean from the universe! So if Leonard Nimoy voiced Galvatron in the original movie, who voices Mega Scream here? George Takei? Mega Scream orders them to focus on Ultra Magnus' shuttle first, wanting Optimus to see his friends get killed. Hot Rod suggests a hard stop, force the Decepticons far ahead of them so they can regroup, but both Magnus and Perceptor say that's a dumb idea. It'd likely just burn out their engines. The console explodes, blasting Magnus back, and Hot Rod decides to do it anyway. It works, but indeed the shuttle's engines burn out. Mega Scream prepares to turn on Optimus, but then Soundwave calls him up to inform him that Unicron has begun munching down one of Cybertron's moons. No! Cybertron and all its moons belong to me! I was going to eat that! While the Decepticons head back to base, Optimus discovers that Moonbase 1 was destroyed. Reminds me of the battle on Betamax 9, where the VHSs used the dirty tactic of detonating a moon to cover their escape. I suddenly feel irrationally angry for no reason. Despite their engines dying, apparently it pushed Ultra Magnus' shuttle clear into the next quadrant, which contains nothing but magnetic storms and the planet Junkion. Me Grimlock say we find our friends and then kick Decepticons in their turbochargers! For once, I can't argue with your logic. Perhaps you should be leader of the Autobots, Grimlock. You seem to have good ideas. Their own shuttle's navigational system took some damage, so they need to set down on a nearby planetoid for repairs. There's something familiar about that place. Oh, Primus, I think that's the place where I took that vacation and might have married like 2 different people in the same weekend. What a strange world. I've seen many planets in my travels, but nothing so twisted and foreboding. Yes, nothing says twisted and foreboding quite like green rocks and orange water. Optimus, maybe you haven't seen quite as much as you think you have. As you might imagine, this is the planet from the movie where the Quintessons and the Sharkticons were found, and indeed, the Sharkticons come walking out of the water. As in the movie, Cup tries the universal greeting. Ba weep granog weep ninny-bong. Unfortunately, in their language, that means, eat me, I'm a GoBot. Optimus continues to try to be diplomatic even as they're attacking, but enough is enough, and finally he orders the Dinobots to kick their asses, which they proceed to do. And then, with no transition or even a caption box saying, "and soon," or anything like that, Optimus and the others have arrived at the Quintessons' base. Recognizing the Autobots, not sure why they didn't in the original movie, but do here, the Quintessons flee and our heroes free the prisoners, including Kranix, the lone survivor of the race from the opening of the movie, whose planet was destroyed by Unicron. He informs Optimus of who Unicron is, and our fearless leader invites him to join them in not only stopping Unicron, but maybe preserving his people's culture. I'd just like to point out that Kranix, who barely has any lines in the movie and is really there just to give some exposition about Unicron before being killed off, is shown more respect in this book than Hot Rod and the other Season 3 cast. And indeed, we see that in action as we cut over to the other shuttle. It's about to crash into the planet of junk, and naturally, Hot Rod is blamed for this. They tell him to get Daniel in an exosuit and use the only escape pod. Ultra Magnus's last orders are to regroup with Optimus and end the war. And the rest of them crash into the planet and die. I don't think RC even gets a line here. So yeah, Optimus, letting Hot Rod come with them just got everyone else, including Ultra Magnus, killed. Don't think we can say that about Orion Pax. Back over to Cybertron, and Mega Scream demands to know why Unicron is attacking them, that this wasn't part of their deal.
I have grown tired of your whining. For a time, I considered sparing your wretched little planet of Cybertron. But now, you shall witness its dismemberment!
Wow, Starscream, you managed to piss him off so much that he's not even bothering to torture you into obeying and then sending you back out to get the Matrix like he did Galvatron. What the hell were you telling him when he was giving you a new body? Wait, were you complaining about Soundwave? Is Unicron as big a Soundwave fan as I am? But yeah, he transforms and starts, hitting Cybertron. Like, not even grabbing it in his hand and ripping at it like in the film, he just slams his fist down. Maybe he was hoping it'd kill Mega Scream. Hot Rod is naturally feeling bummed about getting his friends killed, but once again, Daniel tries to get him to look up. That, like he said earlier, their heroism echoes through the Matrix. Then their sacrifice means something. I don't know why yet, but there's a reason Ultra Magnus wanted you to survive. It was less Hot Rod that he wanted to survive, and more you, Daniel. Though at this rate, I wouldn't put your chances for living through the rest of this much higher. They spot the other shuttle approaching. Optimus. They've come to rescue us. Yeah.
Yeah?
Somehow, I don't feel like I deserve to leave this graveyard of garbage. At least not until the Weird Al song starts playing. Hardware store, maybe? Everyone's reunited, but Hot Rod is still feeling glum about his dead compatriots.
The ways of the Matrix are mysterious. I mourn the loss of my friends, but this war needs to end, and we cannot fall victim to sorrow, no matter how natural it comes to us. Gotta be honest, as soon as this is over, gonna just start blubbering like a baby over Ironhide and the others. Today kinda sucks.
Since in this version the second moon wasn't destroyed, our heroes reconvene there. Optimus believes that indeed the Matrix can stop Unicron, but he chooses to go alone. Daniel's the only one to actually object to this. I guess everyone else just decided, you know what, a lot of us have died today, probably best to just let you handle this one solo. Optimus flies a shuttle to somewhere. It's not clear if it's onto Unicron or onto Cybertron itself, but he's met by Mega Scream, who wants the Matrix. When Optimus refuses, I guess Unicron did upgrade the others, because a bunch of them form a combiner team with Mega Scream to make him huge. It really does say something that every time Starscream gets some source of major power, he grows bigger. Like, he eternally needs to compensate for his tiny null ray. He grabs Optimus, though in this panel looks more like he smushed him, trying to crush him, but then Hot Rod reveals himself, having stowed away on the shuttle. With Optimus severely injured, Hot Rod takes the Matrix from him and slaps a teleportation disc on him to save him. Mega Scream attacks again, but Hot Rod opens the Matrix, destroying Unicron, Mega Scream, the other Decepticons, and himself in the process. Later, Optimus gives a speech on Cybertron.
Let this mark the end of the Cybertronian Wars, as we march forth to a new age of peace and prosperity. And let us never forget the tremendous sacrifice of Hot Rod, and the wisdom within the Matrix. Screw Ultra Magnus, though, he was kind of a dick. Remember our comrades and honor them in the years to come, as our darkest hour has become a sliver of history. It's a good thing there won't be anything waiting for us in the years to come, like Headmasters, or a Hate Plague, or Starscream's Ghost, or the Quintessons, or the guy who created Unicron unleashing anything else on us. Just a sliver of history.
He sees both Alpha Trion and Rodimus Prime for some reason. Oh, hey, they became Force Ghosts too, just like in the last comic.
I will never again question the ways of the Matrix.
When did you do that? And so our comic ends with some narration.
In the realm of quantum realities, any number of deviations can occur. A single decision can change the fate of the universe.
I mean, things were largely unchanged, frankly. Sure, who died and who lived is different, but Unicron still got blowed up and the Decepticons are scattered to the wind, just like in the original movie.
Heroes die. Enemies are born. faith expands. Old hatreds last forever, and the ultimate reward of eternal peace is bestowed upon those willing to stand against the forces of darkness.
Pretty sure all the Autobots were doing that, but a bunch of them just died. Anyway, this comic is not that great. I hesitate to say it sucks because there's not a huge lot wrong with it. The art is pretty competent, and the events, while condensed a bit to fit into the shorter page count — why was this only standard comic length considering it's just a one-shot — overall just played out fine. However, what hurts it especially is the character dynamics. TF Wiki described this comic as someone's angry fanfic, and yeah, it really gives those vibes with how much it seems to hate Hot Rod and the others from Season 3. Kup is the only Autobot to really survive this whole thing intact, whereas Hot Rod just gets crapped on and makes bad decisions. Sure, you can argue that he's still ultimately redeemed by defeating Unicron and Megascream, but remember that he defeated Unicron and Galvatron in the movie too, but he survived that. It almost feels like the writer wanted to kill him off earlier, but figured this would be more narratively satisfying given all the crapping on him before, making it a more of an arc, but it barely feels like an arc beyond just trust the Matrix, it's all good. And what's the point of the inclusion of the shot of Optimus's death? It's not like it was attempting to right some cosmic mistake. Optimus still doesn't die in this. The movie has its problems, but it's still fun, and ultimately Optimus did return at the end of Season 3. This feels like it's just unnecessary and overcompensating for deficiencies that most people have accepted by now. Next time, one more Patreon-sponsored episode, as we have a sort of what if, but not really. Just more of a reboot as we look at the first comics of the post-Zero Hour Legion of Superheroes. In the meantime, I nominate myself as the new leader of the Decepticons! Unless, of course, anyone chooses to challenge me for the crown?
I'm the ninja consultant for the Decepticons.